Hello guys, welcome back to another Conan video. This time, we are in another location in the Exiled lands, and I kind of want to make up for the pyramid video from last time because the pyramid video was more of just a showcase kind of thing rather than actually doing a building tutorial. So I want to give you guys the pleasure of actually giving you a proper one. So where I am currently is in a very, very high windy place in D11. And I did turn on the sound effects a little bit because the wind gets very loud in this location. So you don't really have to build here, but I think this was the best place to find a place to build because I was going all over mountains and whatnot, but there's all kinds of enemies, frost giants here and there. So this was like the best location to find. Because in this build video, what we're going to be doing is building a winter castle. And it makes sense because it's snowing here. There's not really snow on the ground here, but this is, again, like the best place I could find that wasn't in the way of anything. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do today. And what I'm going to be using throughout pretty much the majority of this build, and if I use anything else, I will make sure to let you guys know during the tutorial. But you don't have to use what I use in this build. You can substitute it for anything else if you don't have it, such as DLC stuff, which I do have. I have pretty much everything that is build that you could use to build things in the game so far, until they, I guess, release something new, which will probably be in the next chapter. We'll see. But I'm using black ice for this one, and black ice really, like, I have a love-hate relationship with black ice because it looks cool for castles, but it's kind of like gives me a too dark of a vibe for castle. Although at the same time, I love Stormglass, but Stormglass for that's more of, for me, like temples, towers, not necessarily castles, when like I prefer the median. Anyway, I'm blabbling on. So I'm going to use the wedge foundation first because this is what we're going to be using for this. Now, since this is a slanted area, you want to make sure that your first piece is not really at the highest point, but just at a high point, so that way you don't have to worry about building up higher than what you want to. And it's best to build lower. So we're going to be building the outline of this castle first. So I'm just going to plop a block down here, like, I'm going to bring it back a little bit more, like this. And we want to make sure that it extends up to 9. So this will be a corner here, or excuse me, it won't be a corner. So you want to build one here. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then build that one down there, 9, just like so. And I'm actually going to move this over a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like that. So I'm going to move it over here because this little bit in the back is going to be used for a small tower. Might not be used for anything, but that's totally up to you. But I'm going to build that up as a tower. So make sure that the blocks here are built up to the same level as the ones on the bottom and the ones that you started with as well, just because, you know, you want to make sure that that's properly formatted. And then we're going to take our square foundations here, our regular foundations, and plop one right there. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. This is pretty much going to be symmetry. We want symmetry in this build, actually. And you have it just like so. And then what you want to do next is take another wedge foundation and just build it across like this until it's pretty much symmetrical. And then go back to your square foundations and build them out. And you want to build them out by 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. Now here comes the interesting part. We're going to build 2 round towers, 2 large round towers, one on each side. So you want to take a wedge foundation and connect it to the ends of these regular foundations. And then we're going to go back and forth between the regular foundations, the square ones, and the wedge ones. So after each wedge, you want to build a square next to it where they face diagonal, just like so. And then switch to wedge, and then connect them to each square foundation on the ends here, just like so. And then you just want to keep going back and forth until you complete the circle, or kind of a circle. I mean, it's not like a pure circle that's in the game, but you know, it still acts like a circle. It looks close enough to a perfect circle. So as long as these are connecting and they look round, that's all that matters. And then you just want to build up completely just like so. Just like this, fill in the gaps if you have any, which sometimes I'll just build up all the way first with one particular block, and then I'll fill in the rest with the second one. And there we go. It looks just like this. 2 large round towers, which these towers are possible for you to make spiral stairs. If you saw the wizard tower that I built, if you saw that video, if you haven't, I will put it at the end of this video where you can go and check that out. So, and then you just want to close up the entire thing by putting regular square foundations across here, and there's 3 of them. So this is what you should have so far. It looks like kinda looks like Mickey Mouse, kinda, except he has a longer face. Kinda looks like that, at least to me. I don't know what you guys think it looks like, but that's what it looks like. All right, so this little bit here is going to be used for a tower that we're going to build. So we want to take some square foundations and just go ahead and build them out just like so until we reach pretty much the edge here, just like that. And then we can take the rest of the space on this side and just build up a tower like this. Now, you could decide instead to make this more centered if you want to on the side like this, which in my opinion might actually look better, but it's up to you if you want to have more of an asymmetrical type of I guess hallway or bridge that ends up at the tower here in the back, which this one's going to be built up to the same height as these, so these are it's going to go up by 3. So really you could probably have a bridge that is supported by pillars instead of just having a foundation walkway or anything like that. But for the sake of the build at the moment, until we actually get into the more detailed aspects of it, I'm going to just build a foundation bridge or walkway. It's not really a bridge, but more of a walkway. And there we have it. So this is what we have so far. And on these corners here, I'm just going to put square foundations too, where these are going to just be tiny towers that pop up in the corner. And for the sake of also the build, I think there's like 2 things we could probably do. So we could either do the square one, or we could take these wedges here and turn these into corner towers as well, these circular towers. But I think for the sake of the build, I think to make it a little more simplistic, I'll just use the square ones. Now on these sides, we could do other things to this, which I was thinking of doing, which is just taking a square, taking one, like a space in between this, put a square there, and a space, and another square there. And then we'll do it to the other side, because I kind of have an idea for it, and we'll get to that in the moment. We'll get to that in a moment. But for right now, since we built pretty much an outline of this, what we need to do next is what I typically do, which will take a bit, but I'm going to cut this part out. We're going to take our black ice fence foundations, and I'm just going to go around the castle, the outline, and just fill this in with the fence foundations, because for those that aren't aware, regular foundations take more rendering processing than fence foundations. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the outline, cover it in fence foundations, delete all the wedge foundations and the square foundations, and just fill in the space in between with ceilings with support by pillars. So I'm just going to go around and make sure that each one of these blocks has a fence foundation attached to it before we destroy it, just so that way you guys get the sense of what it looks like afterwards. So I'll cut this bit out until I'm done. So because this part is pretty simple, you just attach it to it just like I'm doing right now. It doesn't really take that much energy at all. So, but I'll see you guys back in just a moment. All right, so I have put all the fence foundations down, and this is what the outline looks like now. This looks really cool. Now, I went ahead and I deleted all of the regular foundations and the wedge foundations, and I've also deleted the pathway to the tower because we're going to turn that into a bridge eventually. So this is what it looks like so far. It's just kind of this empty shell. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly start building and placing our wedge ceilings and square ceilings. But I'm not going to use black ice floors or ceilings because I don't really like the way that they look, to be honest. And we're going to do frontier because I feel like that's more of a homey type of flooring. I don't think wood would be more appropriate for this. So I think using storm glass ceilings I think would look the best in my opinion, because it still has like the dark theme that black ice has, and I think it's a really good it's a just it matches. That's all I gotta say. It matches. So it's a really good ceiling. So I'm just gonna go in the gaps and pretty much the places that allows me to place these currently, and then gonna switch between those and the wedges as well, since it's pretty much the same as building the outline with the foundations, except we're using ceilings this time, and we will need a lot of support for them as well. So once I build all the ceilings that I can, we'll then start placing pillars down, and I recommend placing probably a lot of them down, because they are very important. Very, very important to this build. And for structural integrity purposes, if it starts to become more yellow, orange, red, the more red it becomes, the less structural integrity it has, the less support it has. So if something were to destroy the wall underneath it or something that's attached to it, it'll just come down with it automatically. So it can become a liability. If you aren't that aware of the structural integrity in the game, just make sure that for a build like this, if you want to do the same process that I'm doing, that you make sure that there are enough pillars for it to be supported. If there were to be an attack against your castle, if you want to take on a purge, if you will. So it looks like I'm able to place all these down, but once I'm done placing them all down, yeah, we'll definitely get to business with the pillars, because I just don't want any support. It probably won't allow us to build up any higher if we do that anyway. So, and you'll definitely be able to notice once you try to build up higher. All right, so it doesn't really matter what kind of pillars we use as long as they work. And I kind of think that for the sake of building, I mean, well, let's just use a median, because why not? So for the towers here, every wedge will have a pillar in the middle. Just that way there's that center support on each tower. And the same will go for the square one, where there's one pillar that's directly in the middle. And then once these are built here, which sometimes you might have to cancel and reapply the building where you go to select the delete and then go back to the builds, because sometimes it just acts finicky for some odd reason. And then these squares here, put those. We don't need all this support in the front here since we have the fence foundations instead, so leave a gap a little bit and then put the support down instead. And I'll do the same thing on the opposite side as well. And you could also put them in the corner here too, just like so. And if we ever need any more support, we can always go back and do more if it will prevent me from building up higher. So for now, we seem to be looking good. But for the sake of just the build, I'll just put pillars in the center pieces as well. Just in case. Just for insurance purposes. But there we go. So this is what it looks like. And then we'll do the same for over here as well. Now this one is like very, very good support, except for the middle, obviously. That was kind of expected. So let's just take our pillars and we'll bring them down just like so. So that way that has support all the way through. And there we go. That looks good. Okay, so we got through probably one of the longest parts of this build. The next part is building up the walls. Now, since there are 3 spaces here, what we can actually do is use gates. We can use large gates, or one of my favorite things is this. I think this is only 2 wide though, yeah, unfortunately. That's storm glass. We're going to be using black ice instead. So we have the gateway, which fits 3 squares, and this can also be kind of a nuisance at times too if we are not paying attention, because sometimes it just wants to go all over the place instead of actually focusing on top of the fence foundations or the squares that you want to place them on. But we did it. It actually didn't take us that long. And then we can use a gate door. Now, we could either use the black ice gate door, which looks like this, or we could just choose any other gate door that exists. So we have this one, which I think looks pretty cool, the reinforced stone gate. You know what, we're gonna go with that one. The aquilonium one is not bad, but I don't think it would match for this kind of build. No, not that one. There's even the arena gate door, but that's more rounded, so that's only specified for certain types of gate frames. You have the Argosian, which again doesn't really match that well. Frontier. This one, yeah, Frontier kind of matches, to be honest, but I think we'll just go with the reinforced stone gate door. Yeah, we'll go with that one. And these are 4 high, so we plan on building this high anyway. So, I mean, it kind of works out in the end anyway. So we're just going to go around and get more of our black ice walls and just build up. Just build up. Now, these bits here, now I don't know if I want to utilize them on the inside as something, or if I just want to leave them closed off, because, I mean, they don't, there's not really much space there, but it could be used for something, I guess. For what, I have no idea. That is up to you guys, if you are building along with me. All right, I don't think a window should go there, but I'm just putting in gaps here for where the windows are, where I want to plan out windows. And the center bit there is also going to be where a window is too, so over there. So, oops. So I'm just going to build this around, and then we'll also build up eventually. We will be building up. So just go all the way around, just like this, until you pretty much complete it, at least at the first level. And then we could take our, they call them frames, but really they're just windows. So just where the gaps that were placed, you could put the windows, or as I was building the walls, you could just switch between wall, window, wall, window. the way that I have it built. Also, sorry for sniffling a little bit. I have a bit of allergies happening right now, so I apologize. All right, so this is the first layer. It looks like this, and I'm just going to use a door frame on this side since it's going to take us to the bridge. And then we're just going to keep building up until we're pretty much even with the gate door, or the gate frame, I should say. And after every 2 walls, we're going to put another window. Just like that, just to kind of give a sense of how high the floors will be. So it goes up 2, then then ceiling. I think going up 2 is fine, at least in separate rooms, because I don't really see myself having to build a ceiling in this area, because it'd be kind of weird building it halfway through the door. So I'm just gonna keep the shape of this here, but add a door to it. Probably a door frame right here. And then the rest of these walls on this side are just gonna, the outer face is gonna face out here towards me, and we're just gonna go across just like so until we meet up just like that. And then the same thing on this side too, where there's gonna be kind of like this smallish hallway here on the sides, but we'll be separating them into different sections as well, into their very own rooms. And then just like that. So that way you have this kind of long hallway that leads out. Leads to one end and to the other. The entrance to, I guess, what you could consider the exit, or just the back, which leads out to the tower. So we're just going to build up even more. And this is kind of what it looks like from the outside right now. And this looks pretty cool. And the pathway to get down, I'll be building that eventually as well. So, yeah, but just keep building upwards until you match the height of the gate frame. Now these towers here, one tower is going to be taller than the other. Now we talked about symmetry before, but I really think that having a little bit of asymmetry, especially in a castle, is very important. Having towers of different heights, having certain sections of the castle being lower than others or higher than others, it just makes it look pretty cool overall, in my opinion. And speaking of which, I don't think back here, probably just once we reach the same height as this, that's when we'll start to get a little bit more unique with our build here. So everything's going to be uniform, at least for now. And I think I'll just cut out the rest of this just because it's just pretty much the same thing, just building up. So we'll see you guys in a minute. All right, so everything is built up to the same height as the gate frame. So everything here is built up like so. Now, one thing I wanted to try to do was... Oh, did my game freeze? My game froze. All right, I'm back. I don't know why the game decided to freeze, but we're good now. And hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully it stays good. All right. The only thing I didn't build up were these, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. But we pretty much have everything up to the same height. So what I'm going to do now is we're actually going to start building a little bit differently since we reached the top. So obviously I should go ahead and put more ceilings down as we have different floors that we need to work on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the floors where this is, the top of the gate frame, and then just pretty much building all the way across until it's completely covered. Now for this build, I'm not going to do any furnishing for this since it's going to take a while, Much like how I built the small castle in a previous video as well, which I can also put a not a link, but at the end of the video, I can also show you guys that. But yeah, that one I didn't furnish either because despite if it, I mean, really for a small castle, there was still a lot of space in it. And it would be totally up to you guys at your discretion if you wish to build something similar to that or pretty much the same kind of layout. Um, you furnish it how you want. It would take me forever to figure out what I want to put in it. So that was more of just a building tutorial, and then you guys do whatever you want with it afterwards. The same thing will apply here. But if we're doing like house builds or something like small cottages or things that only have a few rooms in them, then I'll actually furnish them. So, all right, here we are. We have the ceilings throughout here, but these ceilings are going to go down a little bit lower because these floors are going to be, I guess these floors are going to be 3 high. You could do 2 high, 3 high, however you feel is appropriate for you guys, and however tall you want to build these towers as well. But where the windows are, that's pretty much where the next floors are going to go. And the same will apply here, which some of these I didn't actually put windows in, surprisingly, when I should have, and I didn't mean not to do that. And then on these bits here, I'm actually going to change this up a bit, but once we get to that point, I will, we'll just continue building these first before that. Oops. Oopsie, oopsie. Wrong thing. There we go. Grab this. And make sure you don't have to match the same floor right here because it'll eventually make a circle anyway if you use a square on one side and not the other, but I just want to keep that consistency overall. And these might have stairs too to go up to the other floors. If that's something you guys want me to do, which I can do, but just for now, we'll put those ceilings there. And the door frames for the other rooms as well. I'll probably put a door frame here. I'll put a door frame as right there on this side. And I've also thought about just kind of closing off this bit here and putting door frames down instead, because I'm kind of interested in having, yeah, the rooms through here, which this could just be one big room going throughout here, and same for the other side as well once I put the other door frame down, just like that. And then the door frames on this side too, just like so. Just like that. And that looks good. I think that looks pretty good. So, and on this side actually, so I was thinking of putting stairs here, which we could put stairs here in the towers. We could also put, we could also put stairs up here too if we wish to as well. Because what's interesting is that since I closed this off, we can actually change this into a different room or have a different floor as a part of it as well. So let's go outside for a moment, because what I'm going to do is start building the ceilings here, or the, not ceilings, the roofs here. So I think it's a good point for at least some of these where we have different heights here. Now, if I look at the storm glass roof pieces, they're pretty cool looking. And I do like the spikiness of them as well. But you know, you always gotta go. I mean, Nemedian is one thing. I mean, a seer is also pretty cool to use as well for this. What else do we have here that could also be considered a good roof piece? I think Stormglass also is pretty good with their roof pieces as well, if I can find them. There they are. Yeah, like this, but that kind of design doesn't really match it too well. And the same could apply for the Turanian too, unless we use like the stone, I guess, but that's not gonna work out. So I think just for this, we'll keep using black ice. Just for the sake of it, we use black ice for this purpose. And plus, with the different types of roofs it has, we probably will need them because the seer doesn't really have that much variety when it comes to the roofing, unfortunately. But we'll start off with that, and it looks pretty cool already. Looks really cool. And I'm gonna go ahead and just build up the tower. And I think the right tower is going to be taller than the left one. By how much, I have no idea. I'll just build it up until I think it's an appropriate height, if you will. So, and I'll replace the spaces with windows. I'm just going to build these up with walls first until I get to the point where I can put in the windows. So, and I don't want them to be, like, these towers to be too stubby because, you know, with large towers like these, you want them to be tall enough to have enough height with its width, kind of like an equilibrium, if you will. At least that's what I'm thinking when it comes to that type of thing. So, all right, there we go. It's acting a little finicky on me. Don't want it to act finicky. We don't like finicky building blocks. No siree, no ma'am. All right, so that looks, I think that looks appropriate for the left tower, that height. But we could obviously go up probably maybe a couple more layers. I don't want it to be like monstrously taller than the left one because it just wouldn't make sense overall. So I don't want it to go too crazy. But I think after this roof piece, we could just go up at least just 2 more. And I think for the higher tower, we can make that more flat, while the left tower can be more rounded off at the top with a roof instead. So something like this, which I think looks really good. And then the same, we'll do the same here, except instead what we'll do is just stop it at this point and then build the roof on top. So yeah, slight height differences is fine, but nothing too crazy where it doesn't look natural, you know, or doesn't look appropriate, I would say. Inappropriate towers. I don't know what that means, but I guess another way of describing it is more uniform. That'd probably be the best way to describe it. More natural looking. All right. So we could build this up here, this here. I'm gonna just go all the way around with these windows, and there we go. Look at that. And then all we gotta do is, at least for this one, we just build up to the last floor in this tower. And the roof is going to be part of the ceiling on the inside as well, which I will eventually build stairs going up these towers. All right, so let's go ahead, and I have an idea of how I want to build up the roof. Instead of it just going up at a point, I'm going to kind of do a layering system. So I'll show you what I mean. So obviously get your regular pieces here. Which if you've seen my wizard tower, you'll know what I'm talking about, because I'm going to do essentially the same thing there, where we start off with roof pieces around the edge here, all the way around until you fill in the gaps with the wedge roof pieces and the regular roof pieces, and then we just take I'm going to use windows for this, take this and build it up by 1, or really, it's up to you if you want to do it by 1 or by 2, which I'll show you the difference. So if I did 2, I would want to put regular walls first and then the windows at the top, just like so. Just like this. And then I cover it with wedge roof pieces, just like this. Now, technically, this would be taller than the tower on the right, but the floors are lower. So we have something like that, which that's all right. That's not bad, but I kind of prefer just the one floor, which would just be the windows. Or you could do regular walls, up to you, depending on if you want more natural lighting in during the day. And then we just cover it up with these wedge pieces. And it looks like this, which I think it looks better. I think it looks better overall. And then for this one, obviously, we want to build 2 floors, because there's the floor here where the windows are, and then there's the floors that are that you want to step out on to overlook everything outside the castle. So I'll just go ahead and build these around, just like so. And again, this tower will also have stairs going up and around as a spiral staircase. And then build this all the way up here as well, until this is completely covered up, just like that. And then for the, I think, crenulated walls for the outside, it doesn't look as pronounced as like the Nemedian, because Nemedian, now this won't match, but kind of give you an idea, like the crenulated walls for Nemedian is more pronounced because they're more castle-like, while the Stormglass isn't really. So I think the fences for not Stormglass, Black Ice, excuse me, for Black Ice. So I think the fences will be more appropriate for this. Just also because they match the walls too. And there we go, just like that. I think that looks pretty cool. That looks good. And then I'm gonna actually put fences around this part too and the top. Just because I think adding more of that detail makes it look better overall, in my opinion. Seeing all the spiky bits, spiky ice bits. That's what it looks like right now. That looks good. You can't really see the roof pieces from the bottom here, so it kind of looks like that, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So even if we kept it flat, I think building like a mini tower in the center there, I think that would be pretty cool as well. But either way, I mean, it looks good, I think. All right. So what I was going to do over here on these little extending tower bits was take our wooden walls, our sloping walls, and pretty much put roof pieces on top. Just like this. And then we'll do the same thing to the other side too. Since I don't want these to be any more taller than what they already are, and I just think it looks cool this way. Because I also think that building up some of these portions of the castle will be appropriate. Probably not up to, like, obviously surpassing this ceiling here, or this wall piece, but I do think at least building it up 2 more times, or maybe at least once more, and then build a roof on top of it would be appropriate. So now this one I'll have 3 in between, since the ceiling is here instead of 1 floor below. Alright, then just like this. And I think on this side, having a balcony might be cool to have too, since this is going to be considered a room. So let me go ahead and build these out just like so. And these are going to have roof pieces extend out like this, at least going up against the wall here. And yep, there. And then just kind of following a pattern with the way that this is going to look overall, just like so. And for these pieces, I actually don't know how this is going to look unless I decide to build up the wall like so, like this instead, and just kind of make it a flat piece right there, or even underneath that. So right here, and then I just put ceiling piece there, and then wedge pieces here. Which, honestly, if I did use more roof pieces for this, it would look a little awkward. So it would look like this, this, and this. And then it just leaves a square bit. So I think just having it as a flat ceiling is good, or a flat roof, just like that. Well, the rest of this can look a little different since I need to separate the rooms here as well, only because from the front entrance and even the tower, I think in the tower I could put a door frame right here that leads into this area on both sides. And I just need to make sure that the stairs actually cooperate, which they should if I put a wedge here and then I start building stairs going down this direction. So let me go ahead and do that. And this is storm glass stairs, right? You know what? We'll use storm glass stairs. I think storm glass stairs will be pretty cool. Again, with the dark theme, and it matches the ceiling pieces anyway. So let me just go ahead and go around. And hopefully it ends up facing, or at least being in a direction that, at least at the bottom, before going up the stairs, that leads up. Oh, there we go. Yeah. That looks great, actually. That looks great doing that. Perfect. That's what I like to see. Okay. So as long as this is matched here, and then I'll do the opposite side of the tower. And then we could just keep building up, up and up and up. So we reach the next floor. And yeah, while I'm in the process of doing this, I might as well do the rest of the stairs while I'm at it. I should probably not have the stairs exactly right there, because if you get up here, you have to kind of walk over that when it should have more of a space in between to get up, and then you go down like that. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Yeah, so that way there's space to walk on to the next floor rather than having to get over a little bump on the stairs. I just think I think that's just better overall. But yeah, if you guys are if you are watching this far into the build, and if you are enjoying this, be sure to leave a like, and I would really appreciate it if you guys do subscribe as well. I would really appreciate that. All right, and then these fences are going to be storm glass, and I'm just going to put those there so that way you don't just fall over. And then we reach up here. And I think I could put just a square. Yeah, that's fine. And then like this. And then we can go up at least one more time to reach the very, very top. Since this is the taller tower, after all. And these rooms here could be, you know, storage. They could be rooms, like bedrooms, something like that. Totally up to you. But there we go. Here we are at the top. Not really much to look out over, to be fair, but I think it's pretty cool up here anyway. You get to see the view of the mountains, and you also get to see the giant spires, like kind of like a closer look at the spires in the volcano area, which I think is pretty cool. All right, so next thing. Since we finished the stairs there, we could do the stairs in here on this end. And I'll go ahead and skip this part, since this part is going to be kind of pretty much the same thing. It's going to be the same thing, just facing the opposite direction. So it's going to face this way instead. So I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, so I finished the stairs here. And the only thing I need to put down is the fences there. I noticed a difference though, is that the way that I think I built the ceilings here is because this has a little space here, while this just has the wedge. I kind of messed up a little bit, but that's okay. As long as their functions are working, I do not care. All right, so now let's go ahead and build the roof up here, shall we? And we'll just use our regular roof pieces, our sloped roof pieces. And we'll just go across just like this. If it'll cooperate with me, that would be fantastic. All right, and then since these are wedges here, we want to use the wedge sloped roofs, at least on this side and on these corners here too. Now this bit here, I'm just going to close it off like that because this is going to be little towers that stick up here, just like so. I'll just go up one more like this, and the same thing on this side too. There we go. And same thing with this too, which I think, no, that one's gonna use the regular slope roof, yeah. Just like that. Now, what I could technically do is, from this side, I could use a corner, it'll let me, I think, corner roof piece or something. Let me go ahead and put the sloped pieces down first before I try to figure that out by just putting roofs down. So like this, and I don't think that that actually works the way that I intend it to work. Because if I put, well, I don't think it'll let me. It's not letting me. Okay. Well, never mind then. I was trying to do something, but it wasn't going to work. Unless it's just the game acting a little silly. But I was wanting to, right here, turn this into kind of a balcony in this area. Just like so. And then obviously I have to remove these windows here, unfortunately. And underneath these will be the sloped inverted slope pieces and the regular slope piece, just like that. And that looks good. I like that. And then we obviously have door frame, and I'll put windows here instead just to make up for the windows that I removed down below that. And the fences, just like so. That looks good. And we just need to connect the rest of these with the inverted sloped roof pieces. And these walls here, or these rooms, are going to be separated in a way that is appropriate for the way that we're going to have these rooms. So obviously, this doorway goes out to the balcony, and pretty much going back in, it's the bedroom. So I think having more of a, it's not going to be that square, but it's definitely going to be a decently sized room here. So it could be probably this size. Yeah, while the rest of this is more of just a hallway. And then you can enter the bedroom through the middle of it, just like that. And we'll just build this up. Just like so. And those little open bits in the corners, those are going to be replaced by the wedge walls, or the sloped wall pieces. All right. So that looks good. That looks good already, I think. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the ceiling pieces down, at least in this section, just because we will be needing them. The hallway bits. And it looks like that our structural integrity at this point in time is definitely starting to become worse. But I don't think we would be able to build up this high anyway if we didn't put any supports from the very beginning of this build. All right, so I think here, oh yeah, I need to put a ceiling on these two and then put fences around. Where's the storm glass? Or the black ice. I always want to call it storm glass. I'm so used to storm glass. So I used to building out storm glass a lot of the time. Alright, I'm not going to use wedges there. I'm going to replace those with just regular walls, just based off of how this looks here. So, alright, I think the best thing to do would be to maybe keep this flat and not maybe put a roof down, at least in this section. Yeah. What can I put this here? Hello? Oh, is that... Oh, I have to put the... Okay, it's being a little bit specific with how it wants me to place these. I have to put the ceilings down first, then I can put the inverted slope pieces here. There we go. Just like so. All right, and then I want to leave some room here in between, for this kind of room, I don't think it would be appropriate for it to be just that really tall, so I'm gonna just build it as a separate entity here. And what I'm gonna build is just a little tower in the middle. So we have this flat bit here, and I'm just gonna keep putting ceilings around not ceilings, fences around this too, just to keep it consistent throughout the entire build. If it'll want to face the right way, which you want the outside facing outside, obviously. So just like that. And then up here, I think it'd be fine just being flat the way it is, but I do like myself some towers, so, you know, I think the appropriate thing would be just building a little tower in the middle, just as like a centerpiece. Not too tall though, obviously, but and I don't know, you could build a way up to this, but this is just going to be more for show, so you can turn it into something if you want to. But for the sake of the build, I'm just gonna keep it as just something just for looks. And then we put the fences around just like so. And there we go. That looks pretty good, I think. It's pretty good. I like that. It's looking great. All right, one of the last bits to do now is actually the bridge and this tower here, which this tower can be really anything. So I'm going to take our storm glass ceilings and just connect them up like this. And let me go ahead and grab our black ice, and we're going to use the inverted sloped walls this time. And hopefully it'll cooperate with me, because I know sometimes it does not want to do that. And there we go. We want it to go pretty much back and forth just like so. And I want to make sure that it's actually even with this too. It should be. It is not. Okay, so this bit here, right in the middle, is not going to work out as well. So what I'm going to do is do it to the other side as well first. That's the first thing I should do, is make sure that both sides have the same design, and it cooperates with me perfectly. And then we'll work on the pillars too. So there, and last one right there. Perfect. Okay. So really, I think the best thing to do is instead of putting pillars, we put walls down. Or at least a wall and then a fence foundation underneath that. Just because it's kind of, yeah, it's directly in the center. And then we do it for both of these here. And there we go. It looks just like that. That looks really cool, I think. Simple bridge. Very simple bridge. And I also think that for it to be snowing and it to be cold, I think putting rooftops above this would be appropriate as well. So just like so. Now, the pillars, though, I don't know how to really... I mean, there's kind of a trick to do it, but that would take a lot of time to try to do the corner pieces. But I could do that for another build later on. Like, maybe in the future build, probably for like a smaller build. But we can finally build up this tower, which is crazy. We're finally able to do it. And this one's just gonna be pretty simple, you know, nothing too crazy. It's square. It's a square tower, so you know, just everything's gonna be built up in the shape of a square. And it's gonna have obviously a staircase going up to the top as well. And this one's gonna be another overlook. So I could just build up pretty high, actually. And I could base this off of the windows too, the way that I did the windows in the main part of the castle. So I just do a window there, and 1, 2, and then a window here, and I think that'll be good enough. That's high enough in my book. A few floors is good enough. Whenever I think of castles, I just think of the tall towers, the tall turrets. They're really cool. I really like them a lot. If you guys like castles, be sure to leave a like. Also, let me know if you do play this game, you can let me know as well in the comments what your favorite building style is, or building block set. You know, it could be any of the DLCs, any of the vanilla. It's totally up to you. Also, why did this break here? That's weird. Did I accidentally break it? I may have, but that's okay. All right, so before we actually we put the ceilings down, I'm just gonna build the rest of this up here until we reach the top. Okay, so now the stairs, and we're gonna just go ahead and use the storm glass again. And this staircase is pretty simple. It's just a staircase, square, staircase, square. Just all around the corner, except when we reach a floor, because we'll give some space for any sort of things you want to place down or what have you. And then we'll just restart again. We put a stair there on this corner, or on this side, and then a ceiling in the corner, and then just go around again and again and again. And for this, I'm actually going to, instead of ceilings, or excuse me, not ceilings, instead of using fences, I'm just going to put the walls down like this on this side. Where is this? Is it wrong side? There we go. Just like that. And maybe right here I could do a ceiling, or I always want to call it a ceiling, a fence going between, like, I don't know, my brain is just being silly right now. I don't know why. But there we go. All right. And then same thing, just build up until we reach another floor here. And this is going to be the last floor that's up here. And this one's going to be covered up as well. This one's actually going to have a roof on it. So let me just go ahead and switch to our roof pieces. And we go into the corners. And we build them up just like so. But I'm going to do something a little bit different. So in these sides, we're going to use the inverted sloped roof, both left and right. And we're just going to go around the outside. Just like so. And then we take the other side as well. And build it like this. And then we can take, there's a couple things we could do. We could either use the rooftop, we could use the rooftop end, which looks like this. One of these two if we wish to utilize any one of them, but I think for the sake of how the corners are, we're just going to use the rooftop ends, just like so. And we could technically end it off with a rooftop intersection, just like so, but I'm going to build this up at least by one more. So I think, yeah, I'll put ceiling piece right in the middle, and I'll put everything else here too, because I'm going to build up the walls one last time for this, and then I'll use the intersection, because I think the intersection for this part is pretty cool. And then just put the rooftop caps on each side there. And there we go. That looks really good. Yep, that looks really, really good, I think. Yeah, I was gonna say it was gonna be overlooking, but no, I think having it this way is far, far better than what I was thinking of a little bit ago. And then we're gonna put the fences around here on each section, each level as well, all the way around. Just like this until we reach until the top is there, because really technically what I could do instead, and this might actually be better for the fences, is I just put a rooftop cap and then just put the fences all the way around, just like so. Now it doesn't matter if I have the rooftop cap there or not, because it doesn't really look like that from the bottom here, but just for the sake of the build, I just use the roof pieces, so. But there we go. This looks really cool. There's still one more thing we have yet to do, and it is actually the way to get inside the castle. Way to get on the inside. And I think having this blank here, because you could put all kinds of tapestry and stuff around here, a bunch of lights, braziers, etc. You don't really have to put stairs there since you already have the stairs that leads up to the top here and into what you would be your bedroom. So this is actually another, well, I would say small castle. I mean, technically is. I mean, I've seen some people's castles are huge. Some of them I've seen are huge. This is actually just this is a small castle. So anyway, what we're going to do is build the rest of this out here. And we're going to build the way up to the door. So I need wedge. I need the wedge pieces because this is what's connecting them together. And I need to remove that door for that reason, for now at least. And I'll give it some leeway here, some space, since it is needed for that reason. And I guess we could just build like a grand staircase going up. So let me go ahead and grab the storm glass stairs here. Just like so, and then they come down this way, but I need to fix this bit here. I don't know if that'll help the support at this point here. Probably not. No, it doesn't. Okay. Just checking. But I can build this up to this point here as well. And make sure that this is kind of closed off so it looks more natural in the stairs instead of things floating. We don't want floating stairs. We don't want things floating around here. That should fix it though with that support. Yep, it does. And both sides will have the stairs. Now this is more dangerous over here, but it just makes sense to build a staircase on both sides instead of just one direction. It's because we like symmetry, don't we? We love symmetry, right? I know I do. Alright, so the problem with this one is I have to build the walls first, and then I build the fence foundation. But I think after that I can actually put the fence foundations after that. That looks more appropriate. Is that the right direction? It is, okay. Just checking. And there we go. Look at that. That looks pretty darn awesome. Finishing touches is just the fences and then putting back the actual reinforced stone gate. Just like that. And there we go. Look at that. That looks amazing, I think. Now you can also move it more to the side here, but I think for the purposes of having the tower back here, I think it just brings it all together. This looks really cool. I really hope you guys enjoyed this build. I sure did. I had a fun time building this. Despite having the game freeze, I think it was actually worthwhile still. And yeah, this is really high up, so you might want to build elevators or something, or just a big staircase to get down, because this is really high up. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, be sure to leave a like if you haven't already. It would help me out a lot. And don't forget to hit subscribe as well, because that lets me know that you guys enjoy the content on the channel and would like to see more. I've been Savvy, and if you have any suggestions for other builds, let me know in the comments down below, and I will take those into consideration and do it for the next Conan video. I would love to hear your ideas, and I love hearing from you guys as well. I love hearing your opinions and thoughts on videos like these and other ones. I've been Savvy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. See you later.